support them. I believe that they should love whoever they want to.
Cape Town, always. I mean, check all the people standing around just supporting us. It's amazing, man. No haters here.
My grandchild passed away.
Oh, why?
Yeah. I think just because they hate lesbians. I think that's the point.
She was lesbian?
Yeah, she was.
What happened to her? Why?
She was shot in front of me in my house. Do you
know who did it?
Nothing till now. It was just quiet like that.
It's not easy to be a lesbian in Khayelitsha. I was in the closet for a long time. While I was having my boyfriends, I still had a girlfriend on the side as well. So I was just playing around with whatever. I didn't know also that I was a lesbian though, and I didn't want anyone to call me a lesbian because I didn't see myself as a lesbian. My mother, she didn't like lesbians at all. She loved gay men, but if you are a gay woman, then to her it was something else.
I grew up in the Eastern Cape. It's a very rural province. And that's where my feelings started to show. But it was a very scary thing because I know that girls have to be with boys, mothers have to be with fathers. And then I became involved with this young lady. They just figured out she went and go to sleep with my place. And then in the evening, and the police, they knock at my door. And then I hide her in the room. But they look around and they found it. Then I was arrested. I was beaten up by them. I told myself I can't stay. And I think I arrived in Cape Town in the early 90s. We were thinking that maybe Cape Town or the city are better than the rural areas in terms of understanding homosexuality.
Khayelitsha is the biggest township in the Western Cape, but it's divided into little townships. So this is my casa. It's where I'm staying. It's a very cool one. But yeah, Khayelitsha it's a very conservative township, and people still not understand a lot of issues, gender issues, HIV and AIDS. People still are being so homophobic. But this place, it's a cool one.
Well, I guess you stay here. Most of us are not going to school, you're not working, and you don't go to nice places where you can be free of who you are. You know, clubs and stuff are in town, and places where lesbians stay free are also around town. But then if you're staying here there's no way that we can have a pride, you know, without being intimidated or people coming to rob us or people coming want to beat you up over nothing. You always have to be cautious of what you do. You're not even able to go out with your partner around. Some people might split on you and you don't even know why, and you can't ask because if you asked, then you calling the person to come and do whatever he wants to do to you.
Yeah. Homophobic is affecting everybody, regardless of any color or whatever. But it have a different ways of because I mean they can be discriminated up from families or whatever. But anyway, but nobody, they are not like what's happening with us. I mean, we're being killed, we're being raped and all that stuff. It doesn't happen to them.
I live in Observatory, Cape Town. Observatory is it's a village within Cape Town, I'd say. Everyone knows each other, the community is very tight, you see the same people every day. For me it took a while to get to know everyone, to kind of get established here as the person that I am, as me being loud, outgoing, non-caring, a lesbian, so on and so forth. I've had very like puncturing comments, such as you should be a boy, or look at this boy, stuff like that, or like Nani, that means what is this tomboy doing around you guys?
I think we live in a global patriarchal world. I think we live in a world of deep and profound inequalities between men and women. And I think South Africa is a product of that world, but it's also a product of apartheid. It's also a product of colonialism. And these are very powerful forms of state control that hinged on inequality. So the whole center pin, if you like, of apartheid was around difference, and difference as being an abomination. So in the sense, difference was seen as problematic. And so, you know, you see the contradictions of life in South Africa in 2013, where you see incredible wealth, sort of obscene wealth along the Atlantic seaboard, and then gross inequality and gross abject poverty 7 kilometers away.
We enter into a covenant that we shall build a society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without any fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world.
We have a beautiful constitution because in our constitution it stated that gay people have rights. We can get married now these days. We can hold hands, walking hold hands. It's just that our society, they don't care what the constitution says. What they care about is what is the society saying, what they expect you to do as a woman. So our society doesn't expect any woman to be in love with another woman. A woman is expected to have a boyfriend or a man to be married. So if you're not under that box, then to them you don't exist.
You know, once the whole gay marriage thing in South Africa was legalized, they just dropped it. They just dropped it. It didn't become a priority anymore. Everyone was, that was it. You guys can go get married. That was what it's like. Fine. Okay, you want to get married to another woman? Fine, go ahead. And that was it. Now we've got so many people being killed. It's a priority because everyone is suffering and no one just everyone's overlooking this. Everyone overlooks this, and everyone goes on as if life never happened, like never happened. Carry on and it's fine. So I feel like the government doesn't give a shit. That's what I feel. I feel that if they give a shit, they would be making it more aware to the people that are a little bit uneducated about it, that it's okay, it's someone else's prerogative. And if you keep killing people, or if you keep abusing people that are gay or homosexual, you will have a very, 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 very big consequence. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening.
The fact of the matter is we have a deep and profound history of inequality on the basis of race, on the basis of sexuality, and on the basis of gender. And so society still works very much according to the operations of patriarchy. And in a way, what that means is that in order to address violence against women and violence against lesbians in particular, we're going to have to radically reorganize the way in which we relate as men, as women, as black people, as white people, as rich people, and as poor people.
It's strange to see two girls kissing in the street, you know, because like it's written, man must have a woman must have a man, not a woman to a woman or a man to a man, you see, because woman to woman can bring next generation, man to man can bring next generation, you see, so you need man and woman to bring the next generation.
It's actually disgusting according to me. I don't like it. Yeah.
We consider it an abomination in my part of the world. It's disgusting. I don't really like it.
It's a little bit disgusting, but that's the way they want to do it. I mean, I stick to my man, and if they love each other, who am I to judge?
Gay marriage, to me, it's not a reality. It's not life, you know, because it's like changing the nature, you see. Man can marry a man. That is not possible. You know, to me, gay marriage is not a real thing, my friend. It doesn't exist to me.
I'm against it. I'm against it, and because I'm just against it.
It all depends if they do their thing, keep it to themselves. I mean, if they're happy with one another, everybody has their own choice. It's the choice that they made for themselves.
They've decided that they love each other. So we can't do anything against it. And all that we know, at the end of the day, you have to pay a price.
Personally, as a Christian, and if I look at what the Bible says, you know, I disagree on that. You know, like gay marriages and all of that, I don't encourage it. From the beginning, the Bible says God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
And I'll read for us verse 13. This is now God speaking to Israel, his people. If a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Do you get it? It's unacceptable. It's a sin. It's unnatural for a man to lie with a man, and
or a woman to lie with a woman.
Or a woman, yeah, or a woman to lie with a woman. So the church doesn't actually, God doesn't approve of it at all.
It is our nature. Our nature is a sinful nature. That is the cause of homosexuality. According to God, I don't think we, as the country, we should legalize the homosexuality, because we are falling in the trap of rebelling against God as the country, as the nation. In fact, it is an abomination. We cause the nation to sin against God. The Bible teaches me to love. Even Jesus Christ came for the lost, came for those who are sick. I believe someone who is involved in homosexuality, that person needs help, and his or her help is in the house of the Lord. So I cannot chase that person away, but I won't condone the act. I must accept that person and show him the way.
Religion has a tremendous big impact on all levels. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, I've always been very passionate about God and serving Him. It uprooted me a lot when the day I had to walk out of church, knowing that I will never be ordained or live out my calling because of my sexual orientation. The rejection and the hurt and the isolation that came with that was really it threw me. It felt like a tsunami hitting me, and I had to re-evaluate my life and to really accept myself as being a lesbian, and because I've been struggling with it. The 17 years that I was a charismatic member wasn't one where I ever accepted it. And that was the devastation that I allowed into my life, believing it. The church is guilty of hate speech and many of what has happened to the gay women, lesbian women. You get a minister that will say that we must be killed, we must be wiped out. We went to visit the mother of a lesbian that has been harassed and stabbed and kicked because she's a lesbian, and she said that a member of her own church came to put a gun against her head and said that he will kill her, a member of her own church. If the foundation of your religion is filled with things like homophobia and hatred, the outcome is violence. She was also killed in corrective rape. At first they had 19 suspects, so only 3 end up in jail. This article's written.
Homosexual or same-sex marriage in black culture, whether it be Zulu, Xhosa, Venda, Sotho, Ndebele, Changane, it's unacceptable. I don't know the full reason behind it, but it's also it's an unknown thing. It's not what God had created. That's why the people getting raped. These beliefs are still, like, they still exist. You know, it's not just something that will blow with the wind just because certain things have happened in our country, just because the so-called white people, the westernized people are in same-sex marriages. No way, that's irrelevant to the point. These beliefs still exist.
Our tradition is radical. I think it's one of the cause for lesbians to be raped, because the Xhosa men, they believe that those ladies, they do not know that they are women, so they must show them by force that they are women. Their private part is not the same with men's private part.
Rape of women in South Africa, irrespective of heterosexual or homosexual, it's a time bomb. I don't know if you heard of this last incident in Bredasdorp of this coloured girl that was raped. Apparently, I don't have all the details, but she was cut open from her tummy to her genitals. Each finger was broken, each toe was broken, her legs were broken, her eyes were cut out. And then you wonder, why does somebody have to go through that, a woman?
We are so vulnerable, to crime. So that's why we become like easy target. And also the attitude among the black people, like I'm always saying that homosexuality is un-African. So if you are being beaten by someone because of your sexual orientation, nobody cares, because anyway we're supposed to be killed according to them.
That's not a nice thing at all, to stay in fear all the time. But yeah, you become that because they kill you, and you should always know that you only have one lifespan. There's no other life that you hidden maybe in your cupboard or somewhere under the bed.
Rape, it doesn't have an age restriction or an age limit. People that just rape, even if you are a young child, 2 years old, 3 years old, even a year.
Usually people were raped by strangers. Now you're not being raped by a stranger. No stranger wants to correct you. It's either your father at home, your uncle, your brother, or your neighbor, or someone who stays in your street that would want to correct you. So really, it's like people are sick out there because you grew up in front of them. They know you. They know you are a woman at the end of the day. And what you do, it shouldn't matter to them because you're not hurting anyone by doing whatever you're doing.
I was so active as an ANC Youth League, as a youth league member, and then I started from the comrades to tell them. I felt that was a safe space to share that. Unfortunately, the outcome was not right. Was not what I was expecting. And then in 1993, when I was in Langa, there was a tavern that was not far, and for me at that time was a little bit crazy. So I do whatever I feel like doing, kissing in the tavern, and then I think those guys, they were just watching me. So when I left, while I was working, and then this girl was saying that there's people that are following us, but I didn't bother, and then we walked. And again, and then I think she's panicked and say, they are coming to us. And then when I started to look at the back, they were so there. And then they stabbed me like there was no tomorrow. I think when they left, they were sure that I was dead. And then 95, I was working from the World AIDS Day. I went to my friends and then late, and it was late, and then I have to run home. So I was crossing the empty field. There were these boys that were coming. when I tried to pass, and then they grabbed me. Yeah, and I started to little bit to fight, and then they take a knife. But you say knife it's a gambling thing. See, I was stabbed before, so I was not so much scared. I knew, man, if they're going to, to stab me, maybe it's not going to be so fatal. I can still run. But they just now take after gun. No, then I couldn't take a chance. I guys, please, whatever you do. Yeah, and then they raped me. But it was so strange the way my body reacted. I just my body just become numb. I can't even tell anyone what does it look like. I don't know. The one thing that made my life upside down was the rape. I think from then I told myself something's not okay, and then I can't just keep quiet. I went to the police station. Yeah, the police station, they chased the whole thing as if it was my fault. And yeah, the case was no case.
The police, they're very slow, one. And two, if no one goes to them, no one pushes them, they won't be doing it. So I had to make sure that the perpetrators, they get them. It was a struggle because every time we will have to go to the police station. Every time we're the ones who were investigating, and we will have to investigate for the police and then go give them the information so that they can follow up.
We're marching to Guguletu police station to hand over a memorandum to the police because Andile Ngoza, a guy who raped a lesbian, he beat a lesbian and raped her.
And in 2011, the day the guy was supposed to be sentenced, and then he ran away. This is 2013. He's still around, and the victim is living in fear.
We don't want Andile Ngoza walking around the streets. Who knows who else he's gonna rape now? Police, they always like this. When we talk to them, they always promise to do things better way, but they will promise you while you're there. But when you're gone, things are continuing as they are. But maybe by giving them our memorandum today, they will change. I'm happy because we're raising our voices. Silence can kill you. So I like the fact that we're not afraid of being out there, telling people what is wrong and telling people that we're here to stay. Whether they like us or not, but we're here to stay.
But it's our community also. So I know they are really, really uncomfortable. But it's nice to make them uncomfortable because they make us so uncomfortable daily.
So here I am today, also fighting for the cause and trying to changing attitudes and hoping that other people don't have to go through that what I have been through. So if I can help one little bird back to its nest, then my life has had its calling.
I would really love to see a free community for all, to live in communities where everyone will just take you as who you are. People won't judge you, you won't be discriminated at all.
That you go down the street and then being your own sexuality doesn't lead to your death or anything. That really, human beings just be human beings, regardless of anything.